Hello, everyone. Good morning to you. It's a Tuesday morning. Hey, forecast is calling for some precarious weather in a large part of the country, at least where we live anyway, and probably where you live too. Chance of some severe weather today, so be safe out there. Be safe. Do you realize that you're the only Bible that some people will read? You've heard that, I'm sure, and that is so true. You are the only Bible that some people could possibly ever read. In the Bible, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, Paul is writing to Timothy, and he tells Timothy that you should let no man despise thy youth. In other words, don't let your age hold you back, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. In other words, don't just be a Christian in name only, but actually, Timothy, you need to be an example. You need to be an example of what it means to be a Christian, what it means to be a believer. Because, again, Timothy, you, in essence, could be the only Bible that some people read. A friend of mine, David Neal, posted an interesting story on social media, and I have spilt my coffee on it already this morning, but I want to read you this story, and I think this brings it home, what we're talking about this morning. Now, I know who God is, and you know who God is, but this is a story, and it's very touching, and it's very impacting, and it says a lot. Let me just read it to you. A little boy wanted to meet God, and he knew it was a long trip to where God lived. So he packed his suitcase with a bag of potato chips and a 6-pack of root beer and started on his journey. So when he had gone about 3 blocks, he met an old man, and he was sitting in the park just staring at some pigeons. And so the boy sat down next to him and opened up his suitcase, and he was about to take a drink from his root beer when he noticed that the old man looked hungry. So he offered him some chips, and the old man gratefully accepted it and smiled at him. His smile was so pretty that the boy wanted to see it again. So he offered the old man a root beer, and again he smiled at him. The boy was delighted. They sat there all afternoon eating and smiling, but they never said a word. As twilight approached, the boy realized how tired he was, and he got up to leave. But before he had gone more than a few steps, he turned around and ran back to the old man and gave him a big old hug. Then the old man gave him the biggest smile ever. When the boy opened the door to his own house a short time later, his mother was surprised by the look of joy on his face. And she asked him, "What did you do today that made you so happy?" And he replied, "I had lunch with God." Meanwhile, the old man, also radiant with joy, returned to his home, and his son was stunned by the look of peace on his face. And he asked, "Dad, what did you do today that made you so happy?" And the old man replied, "I ate potato chips and drank root beer in the park with God." However, before his son responded, he added, "And you know, he's much younger than I expected God to be." Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn somebody's life around. People come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. We should embrace all equally. And every now and then, have lunch with God and bring potato chips and root beer. Remember, you're the only Bible that some people will ever read. God bless you, my friend. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I appreciate you watching Coffee with the Pastor.